I made this simple, cheesy, tasty beef wraps using shredded beef that I cooked in the slow cooker for 10 hours with very simple ingredients, and in this video I will be showing you exactly how. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Castellan if you're new, and if you're not, welcome back. So for this recipe, I am using boneless beef chunks, and for the spices, I'm going to be using basil, parsley, some garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste. In addition to that, I'm going to be using some red grape vinegar, olive oil. I have some slices of garlic and some chopped up onions. I start off by measuring and mixing up all the spices that I have on hand. So I just put in a small bowl the spices, that is the basil, the garlic, the parsley, some salt and black pepper, and mix that up well. And this makes it easier when I just want to add it to the meat, so that I don't have to keep on picking up different containers when I'm handling the meat. So in the recipe, you're supposed to mix olive oil and red wine vinegar. I did not have red wine vinegar, so I used red grape vinegar, and I crossed my fingers for good luck. I know that the vinegar and the olive oil will not mix, but this is what it says in the recipe: whisk the two up together, and that is exactly what I did. Now to prepare the meat, I'm just going to be using a fork to poke some holes into the meat to make sure all the spices and the vinegar and the oil get in there. In the recipe, it says to rub the olive oil and vinegar mix all over the meat. I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but I did it anyway because me and the slow cooker are always beefing when it comes to these recipes. Yes, pun intended. So I really wanted to stick by the book. I'm not too sure about the particular cut of meat that I'm using. I just picked up the boneless chunks from the supermarket, but if you're more particular, you can cook with cuts that fare better in the slow cooker. The recipe mentioned to use chuck roast, and to be honest, I have no idea what that is. So after rubbing the oil and vinegar mix, I went ahead and sprinkled the mixture of spices again all over the beef, and that is pretty much it in terms of preparation for this recipe. Now we can move on to the slow cooker and start assembling. So I'm going to spread about half of the onions at the base of the slow cooker pot, and then after that I will just arrange my beef chunks that are already coated in the oils and spices. I was trying to arrange them in one layer, but there was a lot of beef, so I had to do them in 2 layers. We're going to be cooking this beef for 8 hours on the slowest setting of the slow cooker. So because of this, there is no need for any additional liquids in the recipe. Just the beef as it is, it is going to be releasing its own juices to cook in. Once the beef is in place, I followed up with the garlic slices, and then the remaining onions I put on the top. So I set the cooker up for the slow cooker setting on the lowest level, because there is 3 levels. There's low, medium and high. I set it on the low level and then let it to cook, and we're going to be checking up on it after 8 hours. I ended up adding an additional 2 hours, so I cooked it for a total of 10 hours. And this is what it looked like after the 10 hours. The meat was very tender. I just used 2 forks to shred it apart, and of course I had to do a taste test. And this is what it looks like after I finished shredding all the beef chunks. Let me tell you, this meat was tender, so tender and so yummy. So next I started preparing the ingredients for the beef wraps. Actually, I kept it very simple because it was the first time trying it out. So all I used was some mild cheddar, which I grated up. It came in a block, so I grated up the cheddar cheese. And then I used flour tortillas. So this as well I just got from the supermarket already prepared, and I went ahead to assemble my beef wraps, which is simply the tortilla, a little bit of cheese, and then the shredded beef, and then I folded that up into a roll. When you're folding up the tortillas, make sure to keep it as snug as possible because the beef is very juicy, because all of the juices are released during the slow cooker process. So to make sure everything is well contained inside, make sure you make it a very neat and tight fold into a roll, and then we can move on to cooking in the pan. In a hot pan, I spread a little bit of olive oil, and then I added the tortilla wraps. I didn't have a press, so I used one of my cooking pot lids as the press to press down on the tortillas as they cook. On medium heat, I cooked the tortillas for about 1.5 minutes on each side. So after 1 minute, I turned them over and browned the other side, and things are already looking yummy. And I found that it was the perfect temperature to get the right amount of browning on the tortilla wrap. After that, I just went ahead to wrap it in some parchment paper. This I got from the supermarket. The parchment paper has a lot of graphics on it, making it look a bit more like a restaurant feel. That's why I was really drawn towards it, but you can use any regular parchment paper. And then I split the tortilla wraps in half just to make it easy to eat. I wasn't quite sure which sauce to serve it with, so I decided to go with this store-bought guacamole. And because it was such a beautiful day, I decided to have my lunch outside. I had my beef wraps with some peach iced tea from Lipton, which goes together very well. I really enjoyed this yummy cheesy wrap. And for the shredded beef, you can make so many things out of it. In the evening, I ended up making a burrito bowl with the shredded beef, rice, and sweet corn salad. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you try out the recipe. I will see you on the next one. Bye.